everyone, and welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing Boys Town from 1938, starring Spencer Tracy. And so now let me get into some behind the scenes details about this film. So from IMDb, Father Edward Flanagan, who Spencer Tracy plays in this film, he died almost 10 years after the movie was released, making him the first person ever to live to see somebody win an Academy Award for portraying him. Another detail, when shooting began on this movie, Mickey Rooney repeatedly tried to steal scenes by fumbling with a handkerchief, pulling faces, and other bits of business. This so annoyed Spencer Tracy that he threatened to have Rooney thrown off the movie set unless he behaved, which ironically kind of fits in with both characters that they're playing, right? So I thought that was a pretty interesting fact there. But anyways, let's get into my thoughts on the plot. All right, so the plot, I give it a 3 out of 5, I'll be honest. I thought it was an interesting plot, and I do like Spencer Tracy's character. I think that's pretty noble of him to want to help out troubled kids, especially troubled boys. I mean, that's as tough as it gets, man. And I also love once Mickey Rooney's character gets there, but I'll be honest, I was kind of bored from there after that. It could have been a really funny movie, very entertaining film, but also with serious moments. It's just kind of bland and not that entertaining at all. I really think it needed some moments of levity, some moments of comedy. It just didn't have a whole lot. I wish I had more. It just seemed pretty serious the whole time. And also, too, when I was watching it, and I might add, too, a kind of cool thing, I got to see this on Turner Classic Movies. That was really cool. I really wish I had that channel now. But Mickey Rooney's character was just going like crazy just all the time. And I get it, he's a troubled kid and whatnot, but it was just a little over the top for me. And I guess that's more acting, so I'll save it for that. But yeah, I thought the plot itself was just okay. I do like how it ends and how it wraps up, but it was just an okay, not great plot. And that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. So let's move on to the acting. So the acting, I also gave a 3 out of 5. I thought it was fairly good. Spencer Tracy, he's the best actor of the whole film. Everybody else is kind of playing catch up. Mickey Rooney, for example, he was just too corny, too over the top. And I mean, to be fair, the scene where the little kid gets hit by a car, and we see that's off camera, we don't see anything, but with him like overacting and like crying and stuff, I mean, maybe it did just show how immature he really was, and maybe that is good acting. I don't know. It seemed a little over the top for me. And I didn't really like any of the other kid actors, which is a shame, and also kind of hard to watch because most of the actors in this movie are kids, and I didn't like any of them. So that's why I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Let's move on to directing. So this is directed by Norman Taurog, and I apologize if I butchered that. I thought he did a fine job, 3 out of 5. I've never heard of him before, I'll be honest. But if you look at his filmography here, he did a lot of Elvis movies, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis films. So he's a comedy director for sure, although this might have been one of his earlier films. This is just in order of his more known films, but I think this film needed more comedy, and this just didn't have a whole lot. And I thought he did the drama bits fine. I just really wanted more moments of levity because it's pretty serious. I mean, like Mickey Rooney's character, he gets beat all the time, and he's screaming and yelling, and I don't know. I wanted some more comedy to it, and there just wasn't a whole lot. So that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. All right, for cinematography and special effects, give it a 3.5. There's nothing spectacular in it. I definitely think the best scenes in the movie are near the end when they're at the when Mickey Rooney's character's at the hideout and whatnot. And but for the most part, it feels pretty standard. Actually, a pretty similar film from a couple years later. Let's see, The Bells of St. Mary. That's actually what this movie reminded me of a little bit. Catholic priest trying to do good with troubled kids and whatnot. But I don't know. The camera work and whatnot, there's not a whole lot. And I really wish it was kind of more of a musical. That probably would have made it a little bit more interesting to me. But yeah, that's why I give it 3.5. It's not terrible at all. It's just very standard and very average and does not stand out at all. All right, let's move on to music. Kind of talking about that. 3 out of 5. There really isn't any music. It's a pretty quiet film, and I think it could have used some more. And it was pretty standard, nothing out of the ordinary. I wonder if it would have benefited as a musical. Now, my understanding, I mean, because the actual Father Flanagan was still alive when this was made. I wonder what he thought of the movie. It's based off of him, right? So that'd been interesting to see. And I saw something on the cover photo. I want to say this was a play too. So interestingly, but I think it could have used some more music. So that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. All right, so overall, my score is a 3.2, which I'm rounding to a 3 out of 5. That makes it a 64% on Criticlist. Now, let me break down my Criticlist score. There's no graphic language. And as far as violence goes, there's some fighting, and a child is hit by a car, but it's off camera. We don't see anything. Just the aftermath, him covered in bandages. Let's see, nudity and sexual content, none. Political bias, none. Family friendly. This is a very family friendly film. I definitely think it is geared more towards kids. I think kids would like it more. And as far as entertainment value goes, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty bored. I wasn't that entertained with it. I really wish I had some moments of levity and some music, whatever it was. I think would have made it a little bit more interesting to me. And so with that, would I recommend this movie? Not really. I think there's a better version of this story out there, actually, with Spencer Tracy. It's called Captain's Courageous. In that film, he connects with a very spoiled kid who's, very rich and doesn't care about people. And he's kind of taught a lesson when he falls off the boat and he's picked up by these fishermen. And Spencer Tracy kind of takes him under his wing and he learns the value of hard work and learns how to calm down and whatnot. I think that's a better story of a troubled kid who learns to become a man, essentially. I think that's a better movie than this one is. So no, I don't really recommend this one. All right, well, those are my thoughts overall on Boys Town from 1938, and that concludes today's movie review.